wanted to ask you, first of all, how much of a surprise is it that we don't have an amount of loan yet that the EU and the IMF could provide to Ireland?
Well, I think it's quite normal that until an actual package has been negotiated that they won't put a size on it. But what we do know is we have some ballpark range numbers, and basically we're told a number, it seems anywhere between 80 to 100 billion. So what is important is that the package is substantial and that it's a multi-year package. And those are really the key elements this morning.
Michala, does this mean that you're less concerned about the prospects of the Eurozone, or do you think that actually bondholders will now turn to punish other countries such as Spain and Italy?
Well, I think what's important to keep in mind is that we really have three issues here. We have the specific issues of Ireland, both the sovereign and the banking sector. Then we have the specific issue of contagion. And in that context, the fact that Ireland has a bailout package doesn't really fix the situation in Portugal. Now, whether Portugal will need a package or not is still uncertain. But if market funding conditions continue to be difficult, and even though we're seeing a bit of a relief rally this morning, they are still very difficult, in that kind of a context, it isn't unlikely that Portugal will end up having to get aid. And then the third big issue out there is really what does all of this mean for Europe's long-term future. It's clear that Europe needs to move towards some kind of fiscal governance, and there we'll get some answers at the EU summit coming up in mid-December. So in my view, there are still a number of very important hurdles out there for Europe, both short-term and medium-term.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about. Michala, in terms of what you're actually seeing for Ireland, is there a worry that if the conditions imposed on this country are too strong, then they will struggle to get out of this mess?
Well, I think it's really a balance, and what's important, I think, in the short term is less on the actual Irish government and more on the banking sector. What I'll be looking very carefully for is what kind of restructuring is coming in on the banking sector, how credible is that, because that obviously is sort of the short-term risk that we need to focus on. The Irish government has now been given funding, and whether the Irish government would actually be able to put in a situation that over the next 3 years puts public finances back in order remains to be seen. Obviously, it's a very, very difficult situation, but they are being pushed by their European partners to pursue fiscal austerity. And as we know, austerity lowers growth, and that makes it even more difficult. So it will be an uphill run.
Yeah, certainly will. Michala Marcussen there from Societe Generale, thank you so much.